Okay, so hari ini kita akan masuk chapter 2, which is components of programming language. Okay. So in this chapter, basically, you need to know about or you need to familiar with the basic component of C++ program, including functions, special symbols, and identifier. And also you need to know simple data type like int, float, double, and string. Next, you will discover how to use arithmetic operators. You have additions, subtractions, multiplications, divisions, and modulus. You learn what an assignment statement. You also will discover how to input data and how to produce output, and generally how to write full C++ program. Okay, so in this chapter, you need to know that we have some basic operations, which is receive input, produce output, uh, like in our previous lab. In first lab, we already done with display hello world. So that one is number 2, operations produce output. We display the output. So receive input, like example when we try to add the numbers, like last week punya contoh, uh, we try to add two numbers, num1 and num2, uh, and the input we get from the user. So next, we also assign value into storage, uh, including constants, variables, data structures, and files. So kalau kamu perasan, kita dah buat constants and variables. Okay, so apa contoh yang last week punya constant yang kita dah buat, ataupun dekat lab exercise yang kamu dah buat? Siapa boleh bagi contoh constants? Anyone? Haida, apa contoh constant yang kita dah buat last week? Line semua okey? Okey lah. So siapa yang boleh bagi contoh constant yang kita buat macam last week punya?
Constant int je.
Bukan. Bukan yang tu. Salah. Kalau constant, kamu ingat tak macam yang saya bagi contoh pi yang 3.14 something, or in your exercise nombor 1 yang dia suruh declare satu identifier nama ABC. Ya betul. Const ABC equals to 2. Tu contoh constant. Constant maksudnya kita bagi value dalam coding tu. Kita initialize and we put keyword const dekat code tu. So yang kamu cakap int, yang Syakira cakap x, y, z tu variable. So beza variable dengan constant tu, variable biasa kita tak initialize value dekat code. Kita just macam kalau kita declare int x, int x, y, z semicolon tu je. Kalau constant dia ada keyword const dekat code. So kenapa kita pakai const? So that the value of variable tu not change. So macam contoh pi. So kita pakai const so that 3.14 is fixed. It's not change. Even by the negative. Macam contoh kita pi value tu, dia punya value adalah 3.14, not negative 3.14. So sometimes in operation, kalau kita just initialize into variable, sometimes value tu boleh berubah in terms of negativity. So kalau value asal is positive, dia boleh berubah jadi, for example, negatif ke apa tu. Kenapa dia berubah? Compiler dia yang kira. Contoh kita buat operation darab. So bila value tu daripada positif berubah jadi negatif, dia punya result akan jadi lain lah. So kita nak avoid masalah macam tu. Kita tak nak dia berubah even dia punya simbol negatif. Okay, kalau tak berubah tak apa, tapi sometimes kalau dia tak ada constant, dia tiba-tiba kata nak berubah ke, tu boleh jadi. So bila kita letak const, dia memang takkan berubah. Okay, so that's why kita pakai constant. And then kita ada perform arithmetic and logic operation. Logic operation kita tak buat lagi, yang tu in next class. But perform arithmetic, saya dah tunjuk contoh macam last week. We want to add two numbers, contoh num1 plus num2. So that's arithmetic operation. And also max selection. Max selection ada soalan yang dekat lab exercise, but kita tak go through secara proper lagi. Itu tak apa, you guys boleh buat dulu. And then repeating set of action ni, we repeat the same action, same process multiple times. Kita panggil looping. Okay, so ni yang ada dalam program, elemen yang ada dalam program, input, processing, output and also storage. So biasanya input we get from the user. So how to get the value from the user? We use keyword cin. So macam contoh, dia punya code adalah cin number 1, number 2, semicolon. And then if we have arithmetic operation, we do like this: total equals to number 1 plus number 2. So the calculation, the total of number 1 and number 2 will be stored in another variable called total. Okay, and then we can produce output from that. So how to display? We use cout. We cout uh, the content of variable that store the result or the calculation. Okay, and then you need to remember that we need to declare any variable that we use in coding in our program. For example, we use number 1, we use number 2, and we use total variable. Okay? So all these three we need to declare. So in constant variable we have several data types. Usually we use int for integer number, we use float or double for floating point, we use char, char for character, and we use string for long long character. Okay, so uh, macam contoh number 1, number 2, total, this is variable, but before it in order to create variable, we need to create a name for variable. So that is called identifier. Okay, so based on this note, it said identifier is the name given to specific storage. So we create a name so that we can give to any variable that we want to create. So flow dia macam ni. Macam contoh saya nak terima input daripada user. So I need some storage, ataupun I need a storage, satu storage. And that storage, dia punya type is I want to use variable. So I need to give a name so that I can differentiate between other variable. Macam contoh, sekarang ni I nak tambah 2 nombor. So I need to input, which is I need to storage. So when I have to storage, I need 2 different name. Kalau nama sama, tak boleh lah, dia akan redundant. So I need 2 different name. So I give a name number 1 and number 2. Okay, so bila kita nak bagi nama dekat variable tu, itu adalah identifier. We identify. Okay, so macam contoh, this is identifier, this is data type, identifier. Okay, so bila kita bagi nama dekat variable ni, this is identifier. Jangan, hopefully you guys tak keliru lah. Okay. But at the same time, we cannot simply give a name. We need to follow the rules. So basically, the rules that you need to follow is the name must begin with a letter, and then be followed by letter, number or underscore. So kalau contoh, nama identifier yang betul ataupun yang valid, for example, number 1 average score, or letters underscore CGPA. So bila you tak nama tu nombor 20 score, so salah lah. Okay. Sama juga macam yang dekat bawah ni, student age. Kalau student age ni kenapa salah? Apa dia punya kesalahan?
Sebab ada apostrophe.
Ya, betul. Sebab ada apostrophe. So kita tak boleh letak special symbol dekat nama identifier, or even blank space also cannot. You need to move. Kalau dia rapat, average salary, then it's considered as valid name lah. Tapi kalau ada space, salah. Okay. Yang macam constant tadi, yang saya tanya tadi, contoh dia pi. Okay, so how to declare in our coding? So basically you just put data type space keyword const, const space identifier equal value semicolon. So macam contoh, float const pi equals to 3.1416 semicolon. And then kalau variable pula, variable lebih kurang je sama dengan const, cuma dia tak ada keyword const. So macam contoh, kalau nak declare int number, ataupun kalau nak initialize any value, you can just write int count equal to 0. Okay. So data structure ni kita akan belajar in topik yang dekat belakang nanti. So for example, if we have a set of number ataupun a list of number, ada banyak number ataupun ada banyak input yang kita nak pegang ataupun yang kita nak store. Macam ni kita nak store? Sebab kalau dekat constant ataupun dekat variable, kita hanya boleh pegang satu number saja. Can only hold one input. Tapi kalau ada banyak macam mana? So in this syllabus, kita akan try buat array. Array is one of the data structure architecture yang boleh store lebih daripada satu input ataupun satu value. Tapi dengan syarat data type tu kena sama lah. Set of input tu dia kena sama. Okay. So this is example of data types and example of C++ program.
Sir,
Yeah.
nak tanya untuk yang constant tu, tadi kan dia float kat depan, float dulu baru constant pi kan? Kalau kita terbalikkan constant dulu baru float, dia jadi error ke bila nak run tu?
Sama je.
Dia boleh lah depan belakang tu tak kisah, tak effect.
Tak effect.
Okay.
Okay. And next, input and output statement element. So this is one of the important element that we need in our program. Macam contoh, we want to make our program dynamic. So we try to get ataupun receive input from user by using keyword cin. So syntax, we using cin variable. So for example, cin number, and then you need to remember that double arrow on the right side for cin. So kalau belah kiri for cout. Okay. So biasanya bila kita nak suruh user masukkan value ataupun user nak masukkan input, we need to give instruction to the user. Sebab in programmer je tahu, developer je tahu apa dia punya flow, apa yang nak kena buat. So macam contoh, kalau you minta user masukkan score tapi tak ada arahan sila masukkan score, so user bila tengok nak buat apa ni, tak tahu. So to make your program smooth, you need to prompt user to enter a value. You need to give a proper instruction so that user know what they need to do. Okay. So bila user dah masukkan value ataupun input, you can hold the value, you can store that value temporary, so that later you can make any operation from that input. Okay. Even tak error pun kalau tak ada instruction, it just to make the program smooth or understandable to the user. Okay. So macam contoh, kalau you just buat cin je, cout bagi tahu suruh masukkan score ni, tak ada. Bila compile still boleh run. And kalau you nak buat testing, you memang tahu, tapi bila nak deploy ataupun publish dekat public tak tahu what's the flow. Public tak tahu nak buat apa. So nak lagi smooth, bagi arahan dekat user, baru user tahu nak buat apa. Okay. So sama juga macam cout. Kalau syntax, just tulis cout double arrow, apa yang you nak keluarkan, you nak display. Okay. So this is a example where we write the statement what the expected output. Okay. So kalau you tulis area without double quote, it will display the content of area, what area hold, what the value of area hold. Okay. Kalau macam contoh you letak area ni double quote, in double quote, so dia akan print area lah, the exact word area. Okay. And then we also have a new line in order to make our interface more understandable, or to make our user interface interesting. Macam contoh dekat ATM machine, for example, dia punya sentence, dia punya statement, ayat dia not in one line. Dia ada satu line, satu line, satu line. And how to make that happen? So we use new line. The syntax is we using ENDL, or we use single quote backslash n single quote. Okay, ENDL dengan backslash n sama je, end of line. So how that happen? Macam contoh yang this one, bila kita see out 14 and see out 16 without n line, the output it will display in one line. But if you're using ENDL, see out 14 and see out 16, 14 and 16 will be displayed in different line. So 14 ke atas, new line dekat bawah 16. Okay, dia akan jadi macam tu. For the arithmetic operation, we have basic operators like addition, subtraction, multiplication. And for multiplication, we using symbol asterisk, star, symbol star, bukan simbol yang huruf X tu. You need to remember, for multiplication we are using asterisk symbol. For division, we use slash, and modulus percentage. Okay, so this is an example. And for example, kalau contoh you nak buat operation bahagi, contoh 5 bahagi 4. Kalau 4 bahagi 2, it's not a problem, sebab dia punya jawapan akan dapat whole number 2. Tapi bila kita buat kita bahagi 5 divide by 2, the answer you cannot get whole number. It will get 2 point something. Okay, so when 5 and 2 is declared with a integer number, and the variable that store the answer also in integer number, which is int. So when we try to display the output, the result, or the answer, it will only display 2. It's not 2 point something. So kalau you guys nak displaykan jawapan yang betul or more accurate, you need to choose a suitable data type. Macam contoh, kalau contoh masalah ni 5 divide by 2, you will get floating number. So you need to use float lah, float for variable that hold or that store the answer. Macam contoh this one. Okay, so kalau contoh C ni, you use int. So jawapan yang you keluarkan, yang you see out, akan dapat 2. So kalau tak nak 2, you guna double or float, baru dia akan display nombor perpuluhan. Okay, and in arithmetic operation or mathematical operation, dia tak sama macam matematik yang kita buat yang sebelum ni. Macam contoh, number 1 plus number 2 equals reciprocal. Tu yang matematik biasa. Tapi in coding, the operation kita perlu letak on the right side, and then on the left side is the variable that we store the answer. So kalau you buat macam ni, salah lah, dia akan jadi error. Okay, so last kita ada type conversion, we call casting. Macam contoh kalau you nak tukar data type integer jadi double, so kita guna casting lah. This one saya akan bagi another exercise so that you understand. Okay, that's all for today. Any question? Semua dah tick attendance?
Dah.
Dah.
Udah, sir.
Exercise semua dah submit?
Dah, sir.
Dah.
Dah semua dah. Tak lepas nak tick. Kalau dapat try lagi, cuba reload ataupun refresh. Sebab biasanya sekarang ni ramai yang tengah try masuk, sebab tu dia error. Tapi kalau tak dapat, bagi tahu balik Okay. So yang exercise tu nanti saya akan bagi balik dia punya feedback. And sama je, function dia sama je. Awak boleh guna mana-mana, ENDL ataupun \n. Functionnya adalah sama. Okay. So esok lab saya akan bagi new exercise. Jadi kalau tak ada soalan untuk hari ni, we can end our class now. Okay, pun tak ada masalah kan? Okay, kalau tak ada masalah, class dismiss. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon class.